forwards that have to compete. Here was the knock-on. Well, again, Wayne Barnes, he was perhaps closer than I was.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy you can at the moment, but I'll keep on. I'm pretty happy you can at the moment.
Another indication of every inch is so important on the rugby pitch in conditions like this. The way that Argentina are competing for the ball when the ball's on the deck.
Bit of rain won't worry Alan Jacobson. One of the 5 players rested by Andy Robinson after the Six Nations to make sure they were in tip-top condition for moments just like this.
Well, Scotland had similar weather conditions down in Invercargill when they beat Georgia by 15 points to 6 their last game. So it was an impressive performance by the pack, and the pack holding their own here for Scotland against a very good 8 from Argentina.
Take your hands down. Hands down.
Well, I don't think that Argentina are actually taking the hit here.
Penalty, blue angle.
That's precisely, I think, the point that Alan Jacobson was trying to make, that they aren't providing anything for him to bind on to. They're not engaging properly. Anyway, Argentina failed to make the most of the penalty. It's driven high by Patterson. It's beautifully taken by Rodriguez.
There's a lovely balance to him, isn't he? He gives himself time. All good rugby players who can give themselves time are able to then set up the ball.
Don't touch the line, no.
Lamont strides over the top.
No. Just hold.
Vergasio. Cleared away by Santi Fernandez. This is becoming a war of attrition. Patterson to Morrison. It's not a night for any frilly nonsense. And then the man we've just been praising, Martin Rodriguez, fires the ball directly into touch.
The commentator's curse, we often are accused of that from players, but with the conditions the way they are, either team have got to understand the grubber kick, the spiral kick that will kick off the surface is now going to become an issue, because the teams are actually now going to try and look for territory in these conditions.
Jim Hamilton's one and only test try clinched the series win in Argentina 16 months ago. How much is one worth this evening? Taken by Gray again, who seems back to full fitness. Hamilton. Rossford waits. Cross comes in. Lawson to Jackson. See what he was trying to do, but he never got it beyond Fernandez. Ledesma.
Advantage is over.
Vergasio to Bosch. Stretches over halfway. Albacetti.
Hold.
Busy little scrum half, Vergasio. Might have been born in the borders, he's that type of terrier. This is Fernandez, continuing to test Scotland's defence. Bosch again. Oh, now Vergasio's in a little bit of trouble. Managed to sneak the ball backwards.
Yeah, the hard yards from Argentina. Scotland's defence is sound though. Argentina having to work hard.
Contaponi refusing to kick the ball, determined to keep it in hand. Tackled by Gray. Carissa was the latest to give it a go, and now it's Vergasio. Driven play patiently, muscularly over the 10-metre line. Vergasio. Scotland piling over the top. They sense this might be their point to win it back, and they have. Jim Hamilton. Jackson, switching play, skids off the turf. Gathered in by Rodriguez, charged down by Morrison, who has run a marathon for his country this evening.
Well, these things make such a difference when you're in a blue jersey. The way Morrison chased the kick, the fillet that will give his forwards. And again, it's the mindset. Morrison directing the traffic, charges down well. And now the forwards know that they can put Ledesma under trouble again on this line out. But wonderful tackle, not only by Jim Hamilton. I think Strokos came off the line quickly to defend well.
Richie Gray has given way to Nathan Hines. Comes on to win his 76th cap, 34-year-old. Scotland lose nothing in the experience stakes.
And the physicality has just been stepped up as well.
He's had a night to remember though, Richie Gray. Is it to be a winning night to remember? Scotland have the advantage. Wasn't straight. Lawson to Barkley. Tipped up by Albacete. Advantages gone, you will have heard Wayne Barnes say. This is Lamont linking up beautifully with Morrison. Rain driving down. Scottish hopes rising by the minute. Drop goal from Patterson. He's missed it. It's not been a night for the drop goal.
Oh, he had his chance there. Oh, he'll be disgusted with himself. Scotland set up the play, stepped back in the pocket, bang. The accuracy was not there. 6 points go a-begging for Scotland. How crucial will that be? 3 points from that drop goal effort, 3 points from an earlier first-half penalty.
Ball bounces awkwardly in front of Lamont. You might be a bit too close to this, Scott, to enjoy it, but it's got that feel about it, hasn't it? It's classic rugby.
You know, when you're putting on the pan on the stove and letting that boiled egg bubble, that's where we're at the moment. It's simmering there nicely, and it's going to be tight, it's going to be close. And Argentina, of course, fighting as much as Scotland to keep themselves in this Rugby World Cup.
Ross Ford made his breakthrough at the last World Cup. He's been first choice ever since. Finds Hamilton. Lawson needed to be careful. Straight into touch. Perhaps as a result of the pressure that he found himself under.
Yeah, massive pressure. Good ball off the line out. The chase by Lamont. He couldn't get the ball back in.
Contepomi, tempted to say enjoying his fourth World Cup. Sure, enjoyment is the word he'll use at the moment. Taken by Fessia. First half replacement for Fernandez Lobe. You wouldn't know that Ledesma was 38. He's running around like an 18-year-old at the moment. This is Celso. Scotland were offside. Alan Jacobson conceding the penalty. It'll be a decent kick though in these conditions. Argentina playing against the elements in this second half. Now what's the decision here, Scott?
Oh, the 3 points are on offer. You take them. Oh, this is I'm certain that this is in the range of Felipe Contepomi. But as you said, a hard kick, swirling, blustery conditions. It's wet underfoot. It's falling from the heavens.
Contepomi is closing in on the Argentine points record, currently held by the great Hugo Porter. Even kicks like this might have tested Porter, however. Nope. Santiago Phelan can, like the rest of us, only watch and wonder as we tick into the final quarter of what has become a captivating game of rugby.
Everything tense here. Jackson likes to kick long from 22s. He'll send that blue line up.
1 and 9.
Well, Scotland are making changes. Blair is coming on. Lawson, the captain, is making way. Try and find out who the new skipper is. Alan Jacobson making way also for Alistair Dickinson. Pre-planned changes after an hour. Scotland beginning to play their cards. It's not a night to be a fullback, but Patterson has barely put a foot wrong.
Off the foot!
Wellington had to work hard to make sure Scotland held on to it. Blair, Scotland's most capped scrum half, to the rookie at fly half, Rory Jackson. Rodriguez, kicking for territory, kicking for pressure, and finally it tells on Patterson.
Well, he's hardly put a foot wrong, and he knocks that one on. And the handling error is just creeping up for Scotland. And Argentina and their supporters sniff a small chance here. But it's the breezy conditions. The flight of the ball changed just as it was coming down. We saw it in Contepomi's last penalty attempt, the way it swirled away there. It's exactly the same with that particular kick.
Penalty against the Scottish front row.
Chase your feet. Feet have gone away from you.
Well, if your feet have gone away from you, surely it means that you've slipped on the surface.
Jeff Cross. Wayne Barnes suggesting that he might have tried a little bit harder to stay on his feet with the chase the feet comment, but that's sometimes easier said than done, especially in conditions like this.
Just watch this one. Well, he's close. You can see it from that other side. It is a controversial issue, isn't it, when the scrums go down?
If we were at Murrayfield, there would be a stentorian voice telling everyone to be quiet. But it doesn't bother Felipe Contepomi. And a match that's as tight as anything could not be tighter. Half a dozen each.
Yeah, great concentration from Felipe Contepomi, third most capped player in Argentinian rugby. How will Scotland respond to that one?
We're busy working out the permutations of what it all means. And if it stays the same at the end of this match, if the match is drawn, Andy Robinson's team will have 11 points, England will have 14, Argentina will have 8. It's England against Scotland and Argentina against Georgia, with all three teams mathematically in with a shout of reaching the quarter-finals. The match is there to be won, and there's a place in the quarter-finals to be won for Scotland there if they want to take it. Morrison again, who's just been immense in midfield. Ford's barely stopped all night either. Scotland can end the quarter-final qualification debate with a win. Drop goal coming up. Jackson, he struck it well. Oh, he struck it beautifully. The Glaswegian Rory Jackson has Scotland England back ahead.
Well, the calm head from Rory Jackson, the young fly half, showing maturity. He stepped back in the pocket a long way, didn't he? And he absolutely nailed it. The Scottish fans are alive here in the Cape Town in Wellington. It's game.